Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. I have here all the different decks. This is an introduction to the readings. I'm using 4 different decks, and so I'm here to tell you that I'll be doing the mixing off camera for 3 of the decks, laying the spread as you see, and then when I'm with you, I will mix the Vera Sibilla cards and clarify with you. And then I'll be using my runes, and this month I'll be using tiger eyes runes because the contrast is a little easier to see. And of course, as I say that, you cannot see that. Okay. Now, the decks I'll be using is my picture postcards. For a few, I'll take a few of those. Then I'll be using the Happy Tarot, which is a delightful deck. The Happy Tarot. And then I'll be using the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Take 1 card from there. And of course, then Vera Sibilla. This time I'll be using the Vera Sibilla. That is a very rare deck, very rare. And I use it sparingly because I can't find a replacement. All right, so on to our readings. Thank you, old and new subscribers. Thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Hello, Pisces. Hello, Pisces. Here's your spread. Let's start without any further ado. This is the lady with the book. Then we have this 3 of Swords. This is the Page of Cups. Then we have Oriate from the Santeria suit. It's an earth sign, this is, even if there is the sword there. It is a priest. The Oriate is a priest, and the idea here is, the aspect of the card is similar to pulling the sword or the iron from Excalibur. It's a reference to the Western story of Excalibur, when a young man pulls a sword from a stone to prove himself worthy of being a king. And the person that's associated with this card, and I see this as a person, I see this as a person, could be an Aquarius, could be a Capricorn here. This person is has the nature of being competent, they're trustworthy, and they're reliable. And they will prove this to you. It's a good worker, a good manager. Physically, this typically is a young man with dark brown or black hair and dark eyes. Then I have here the Bagpiper by Abraham Blomart. Now, this is all about really proving yourself worthy. And what I see as you come into the spread, as you come into the month of July, you ask yourself almost if what you're doing will ever pay off. Why am I studying so much? Why do I try to work overtime without being paid? Is there a payback of some sort for me? Will I be rewarded for what I'm doing? And this is the questions that you ask yourself, and the actions that you take in order to answer those questions are not ever enough. You don't feel like you do ever enough. I have here, this is the 3 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords is Saturn in Libra. The Libra period is September 21st to October 20th. And in terms of what will happen to you, when will you get that payback? When will you know? Libra, the period of Libra, is when you will realize if what you're doing will ever pay off, if it's worth your while to continue doing those things in the month of Libra. All of us who have Pisces in our chart, strong moon, sun, or rising, will have to remember that and come back to the reading to see what happens in the month of in the period of Libra. Now, the environment, the context, your mental attitude in the month of July is this Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is a water sign, of course, but it's earth of water. You're thinking along the lines of abundance. You want to do something for a reaction. You want to have, you work on a project in order for you to get brownie points, for you to make some kind of material gain. The answer will be coming in the period of Libra. Now, we talked about the emotional side, this oriate, how the basic underlying idea here emotionally is to prove yourself worthy of something. And the outgoing card here, which signals change, has to do with communication, has to do with communication with a loved one, has to do with communication with a significant other. And how much meaning that will take on from now through to the Libra period. And it seems that around the Libra period for you, Pisces, something is going to hit you that will make it very clear to you that there's just no reason for you to play by anybody else's rules or try to impress somebody in any way, but it is you who needs to understand your worth. There is this person important here in your life, this, and I do see it as a man, perhaps a younger man with regards to you. Let's take the VERA SIBILLA cards and see what all of these are a little more about. Let's talk about, let's first go to the incoming card. Servo, the servant, militare, the military, and bambino, the beginning. These are very heavy cards in the beginning here, especially, but there is, there is a beginning, but there is a beginning whether you like it or not, you see. The military with the servant talk about you moving forward through the strength, through the force of inertia at times, because you know that you have to do that. This is what you have to do. You know, you're a person who works at the stock market, and so this is the type of work you do. Or you're a teacher, so you have to plan lessons. You're an architect, so you have to draft, so you have to draw projects and things like that. When you ask yourself, well, what do I really want? What is it that I really want? And in line with this, I have to say that the other day I had a reading with a client of mine, and she was convinced about something. She was convinced that the man that she was interested in had a relationship with this woman. And this has been, the question has surfaced so many times, and I said, look, I'm not seeing it in the cards, I'm not seeing it in the cards, I'm not seeing it in the cards. And then I did say to her, though, it happened twice in my experience as a reader, that the cards don't allow me to communicate what in truth does exist, for the purpose that the client, the person I'm reading for, needs to experience the element of surprise so that they take action. Now, in this case, it seems that sometimes when you are proving your worth, okay, let's talk about the underlying theme here, Pisces, proving yourself worthy. That means that there is an outside force, there's another person, you're proving to others your worth. And it already conditions the way you act, the way your perspective is, and how you go about things. And it removes a lot of energy from what your true nature is. There's another important factor to state, to set, to establish. And I'm going to take cards on the Oriate. First of all, is that the nature of activities that we do in the proof of yourself worthy is, on the one hand, we all have to go through trial and error and tests, contests. You have to take part in a contest to see who is the best man, who wins, all right? Best man or woman. It is the energy that's driving you to do that that will condition the outcome. If I'm thinking of proving myself worthy, that means that I have already lost because I'm waiting for their approval. If I know my worth, I need not even play that game. Okay, let me tell you what I'm seeing. Pensieri, thought, doctor, dottore, and artista. An artista, this could be a professional as well, lawyer, scientist, magistrate, judge. Now, the idea here is that you may have a shift that has started, will be starting in July, Pisces. You're going to have a shift in your priorities. You're proving yourself worthy in one realm. Let's take, for example, your workplace. You want to have a career jump, make a career jump, and you have to go through a series of steps to do that. You have to show people that you're reliable. You have to show people that you can manage things. You have to show people that you obtain results. But at the same time, and in the month of July, is when you realize that the same energy behind that desire occurs automatically in relation to a person who is of significance to you. Do I have to prove myself worthy? Or am I worthy? And they need to take that as given. And these are questions that you ask yourself, but the shift is there in the month of July. In the month of July, you already start your move toward a priority that is less ingrained in your livelihood, your workplace, and you're going to give importance to your relationships, or relationship. I'm seeing it as one person, one specific person. I'm going to take cards on this Three of Swords. And I have Ammalato, this ill person, this ill one, Costanza, and Sorpresa. And here it has to do, it may be a person who's not well, and or hasn't been well for a while, and they may then surprise you, quite superficially, if you will. But I do believe that it is the Oriate, you know, the Excalibur, you know, finding worth, proving yourself worthy. And I think that there is a starting in July, this energy whereby both of you have enact a process that takes you away from your daily livelihood, from your work, and you start to see things differently between yourselves. Even if you don't communicate, you will not communicate. But the process starts there in July. And we said the Three of Swords is Saturn in Libra. And the Libra period is September 21st, October 20th. And it will be then that the surprise will come about. They may, there will be communication there. I'm going to take another 3 cards over this page here of Cups and see what that communication right here is all about. Okay, I have the ladro who speaks to the thief who speaks to negative change, donna maritata, and who is the female protector, the married woman with child, and gran signore, the male protector. Now these are two people, mature people. They don't necessarily have to be older, but they are mature in their emotions, one to the other, and I'm seeing them as here. The ladro speaks to change. There is a change, how can I say, there's a confrontation, a negative confrontation. There is something that comes up in that period, in the Libra period, that is the first time in a long time that messages will be passed, but they don't go to fruition. They don't have a positive development. Very clear the cards seem to be. I'm going to take 3 more on the outgoing card, this bagpiper. Yeah, look at that. I have regali, gifts, dispiacere, sadness, and gran consolazione, this great consolation, fortune, abundance. And this is the element of change. And of course, that negative, that exchange, communication that doesn't go to fruition, doesn't have a positive development, then when changes come about, because you both start to give emphasis more to the emotional realm than your work life, we have the gran consolazione, we have regali, we have those gifts, we have this great consolation, and the element of dispiacere is relegated to the time factor. Why did we have to wait so long? Why did this only happen now? Are we both to blame, or is that just the centrifugal force of life that just causes us to be pushed apart? And it gives me, gives us a nostalgic tone, but believe me, it seems that it's a very touching story. It's a very touching emotional story, emotional relationship that you start to think, will they ever, when, but then I try to get away from the cards, because then I get caught into the stories of other people, All right, now I'm seeing here a couple of things. First of all, we've got Kinat's bright stave, which means that the intuition is there in terms of where you will be going. However, we have Pedro Merkstave, which tells us that Libra, the period of Libra, is still too soon before it comes, the development of the relationship comes out in a positive light. Berkana Bjork does tell us that there will be the beginning here, does come about. I have Urus Merkstave that tells us, okay, you're proving yourself worthy. Even if it is in relation to other people, they need to see. You have to, in some way, communicate a change to that person. And it is done energetically, and it will be happening energetically. The element of surprise that we saw before, it will be done in a way that is strictly characteristic of your nature, of that other person's nature, and there are two driving forces that are repelling each other, and because we're still in our ego space here. And Isa attests to that. Isa's telling us, yes, can't you see you're still two individuals who are so headstrong that. And Lagos Merkstave does not ever, when Lagos is Merkstave, we should worry. It never bodes well. But again, we've got need here. It has to happen. It has to happen because after such a long period, and then you do fall into the trap of the same type of non-communication, that you then start to think that, what are we doing? Because we really need to come together. We know that. I know that. You know that. I know that. Okay? I do hope this was of help, ladies and gentlemen, Pisces friends. Have a nice July, and thank you to all my great old diehard subscribers and my new subscribers. Welcome to this channel. Namaste until we read together again. Bye-bye. Also, those of you who want a private reading, please go to my website, www.christellemartinette.com, and you'll find under readings, there'll be a page there explaining everything, or just write to me, readings@christellemartinette.com. Bye-bye.